Hey everyone, thank you again for tuning into the Iconist podcast, where I, one of your hosts, Barry 3D for Deep Dark Delicious, is still rocking the same joke by going, hey. It's all right. And that's it. We're back for another episode. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for staying and keeping up with all our madness and our jokes and our music references. And sometimes how we go off kilter and having a grand old time.
There you go.
Right on. So, as you know, Barry 3D. Where can you find all my stuff? At barry3d.com. That has all the links to everything that I'm doing, this show, other shows, anything that I'm attached to or whatever. So, yes, I do have to update my blog. I haven't done it for a while, but everything is still kind of status quo. It's just as tour dates. You got to keep an eye on. So, I know I have a show coming up July 30th out in Kitchener at the Crazy Canuck. So, that's a Saturday with opening for my boy Andrew Searles. And both me and Andrew Searles will be doing separate shows in Montreal on the same dates, pretty much roughly the same times. We're going to be down the street from each other. So he's going to be doing his show, C'est Moi Chocolat. I think that's the name of his show. And that is August 26th, August 27th. He's got two shows per night. I am doing my show, or not even my show, our show. So that's a Touch of Gray Walk to Montreal tour, fundraiser for the Shriners Hospital. And that is myself, Dave Sokolowski, Thomas Patrice, and Zolf Ali. We'll be there once again, August 26th, August 27th, two shows, one at 7, one at 10. And it's the same thing for both nights on a Friday and a Saturday night. So come out, enjoy, have a good time. We'll have some poutines, Belle Province, bonkies after. Word. As I said, expect to see a lot of people out for that one. So that's the running, the long haul of it. Remember, now, once I'm in Montreal, I will be making a pit stop at one of my favorite comic book stores and my old stomping ground. That's Check Swings with Trevor, Pierre, and Dom. So look for me there. I probably will roll through there maybe on a Saturday during the day. If you're in there and you want to see me, you know where I'll be. That's definitely, and I'll be going there probably with my brother because me and him always go to the bookstore together. So that will probably be a Saturday run. That's I can say that much with confidence. That being said, also, we always like to do a quick round of shout outs. So Jimmy England, Balcony to Balcony, microphone on the red background. Look for it. Check it out. He's on season 7 of his show. Funny, informative, a lot of fun, great guy. Share some love. You can have more than one podcast that you all like to listen to. So take a peek at his after a while, and for sure, and back and forth. Still keeping with comics, support the books. Wow Comics out in Kitchener, because when I go out there on the Saturday, I will make a pit stop there. That's for sure. I always do that. So that's gonna be the Saturday, July 30th. I will be there early before they close. They close at 7 o'clock. My show starts at 8. Great timing. So support the books, and that's Wes, Ramon, Chris, and Sydney. Look for them. Tell them that you heard about on the Iconist podcast. And then, of course, please come on down to Crazy Canuck. Check me out. Cracking some jokes. We have a good time. I think, I've got people covered-ish so much. The one that makes us look so pretty all the time, the man, the myth, the legend, who gives us our templates and does all our social media. Rod, who am I talking about?
Jaybird Digital Art.
Jaybird Digital Arts. And for all your media needs.
Let's go.
Right on. Reach out to Jaybird. Let him know what you need. Tell him you heard about it here. And please, just because you're not located locally to Jaybird doesn't mean you're restricted to work using Jaybird to do your stuff. Worldwide, baby. This world is international and digital. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Just like this show. We are picked up in UK. We are picked up in Canada, US, overseas. Argentina. I'm like, I don't know who's listening to it in Argentina, but thank you. So yeah, I look at the stats and I've seen that people are listening to this worldwide.
Nice.
I feel like Pitbull, Mr. 305.
Oh yeah, I can't remember a song. I'll stop.
Yeah,
right there.
Mr. Worldwide.
I'll stop right there. Right, that's about the song. Like I can't.
Fireball. Dun, 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 dun. Right. Okay.
There we go.
So,
there you go.
That's it. Right. So enjoy it. Remember, please like, subscribe, share. Check us out on our YouTube channel. We're still trying to make that channel grow. Remember, these podcasts are done all over the place. So wherever you pick up your podcast, you can get the actual podcast on that. If you want to know our podcast page, it's iconist.podbean.com. Right? Podbean. So that's what we use. But of course, it's also on Spotify, Google Podcasts, any place. You get it. You got it. So videos drop on Tuesdays, 10 o'clock, our time here, Eastern Standard Time. Audio, the podcast drops on Wednesdays, Eastern Standard Time, 10 o'clock. Right. So I think we got it covered, except for one. My cousin, The other man, myth, a legend, co-host extraordinaire, a man who probably hasn't slept yet because he's been spinning the turntables all over Twitch.
Yeah, pretty much.
Who am I talking about? The one and only
DJ Rod C. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode. As the man says, worldwide net, we're around. You can catch us anywhere and everywhere. I'm loving hearing that we got a lot of foot traffic across the world. As you know, my feet are probably hurting. You know, that's a lot of foot traffic, and I'm glad that my foot has touched international waters, international grounds. Now I just got to get my physical body over there. We'll work on that. We'll work on that. Right
on. Oh, before I forget, remember, we got a Patreon page, so please, we have exclusives on Patreon page. Look for us, Patreon, Iconist Podcast. If you want to, you also look for us on the coffee page. If you want to give us a tip, find anything that helps the channel grow. And Redbubble, we have shirts and merchandise on Redbubble. I'm wearing my shirt right now, the Iconist Podcast shirt. Comes on t-shirt, all colors you want, hoodies, the whole 9 yards. And didn't mean to cut you off, Rod, but Rod, last thing.
Where am I?
Where? I'm like backstage room. Where can we find you?
I can be found on the world.net. I can be found on Instagram at Mr. Rod C. Mr. MRRODC. Also can find me on the World Wide Net and twitch.tv/DJ Rod C. Listen, as I say, I'm there every week playing, having some fun. Listen, by the time we drop this one, should be going on something on this Saturday. You could definitely find me going on twitch.tv/DJ Rod C. Come true, as I always say, give a little holler, say, yo, I followed you from Iconist. Like, yay! Follow me there, and we'll have some fun. Let's go. Let's go.
I know you DJing every Wednesday, solid. No problem. And don't let it be. This is why he's like asleep, right? This just past week, he DJ'd on a Wednesday, DJ'd on a Thursday, DJ'd on a Saturday, and I think he even DJ'd on a Sunday.
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Right.
I had a break on Saturday.
Come on. Sometimes you just need some tunes. You want to mix. You just don't want the radio. Here's a song starting. Here's a song going. You might want the remix. You might want one song going into another song. You might not. You want to be surprised. Maybe you want a whole soca mix. You got you covered. You want an R&B, hip hop, R&B mix. You got you covered. Yes, I know. I said R&B, hip hop, R&B mix.
That's how it goes. That's how it goes.
Right on. So that's how it is, man. You want classic house. You want house. Roots and rockers. Okay, yeah. I think the only genre of music you don't do is opera.
Hold my beer. I'll be right back. I'll think of that one. Okay. I'll think of that one. Actually, now you're making me think. No word of lie, people. I'm actually going to think. I'm going to put that in my head right now. Opera songs. I'll have to come back and look for that.
Okay, opera and maybe a couple of rock songs. Okay, because he does disco. So that's the challenge. We got to listen. We got to listen.
That's right, gangster.
Kiss, Rock Me Like a Hurricane. That counts. Okay.
Nice.
Okay, sorry. Scorpion, Rock Me Like a Hurricane. Okay. It's Kiss, I Was Made for Loving You. Those are my two jams. All right, boom. All right. Rock you like a hurricane. You have kids, rock you like a hurricane. That's how your wallet feels like after they come in. All right. So,
woo! Come on.
On the Iconist Podcast today, the icon is Bio-Boosted Armor Guyver. Guyver. Like Joe Coy, Japanese. Say it with your chest. So, speak from diaphragm. Bio-Boosted Armor Guyver.
Oh, that hurts.
That hurts. Yo, you got to say it that way. It's
the only way.
It's the only way. It's the way. It's the way. Yes, it is. Like Mandalorian, it's the way.
This is the way.
So I'm going to say this right now.
Oh, boy.
Let me just...
Get off your chest. Get off your diaphragm.
Get it off my diaphragm. If you've been a fan of this show and listened to a couple episodes, thank you. We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
I also apologize for the times I've gone a little bit too, as the saying goes, ham, over the top, extra.
Never.
Because sometimes I'm passionate and I get excited about what we talk about.
You get excited?
Yeah. So there's a couple of properties that really get my gears going. That's Gacha Man, hashtag Battle of the Planets, G-Force. That's Micronauts. Bill Mantello and Michael Golden. In the toy line that really gets me going. And then there's bio boosted armor Guyver. Okay, let me tell you something how good this thing is. This is one that I've been holding off for the longest time. Every time people say, "Oh, Guyver," I run out and go, "Guyver!"
He does. He
and
does.
I just take off running down the street because I get a flashback, like I'm in the movie, I'm in the manga, I'm just part of it. Like it just if I had to be a hero, I want to get an alien battle suit. Now, even though it goes into me in certain orifices that I might not like, I know not might, I won't. I will still take the pain to get that bio boosted armor.
For the quality. Listen, you guys don't understand. I don't know. I can't even think of the number of which episode we're at right now. It's a surprise that we were able to hold off this long. That could have been number 3 or number 10 tops that we would have done Guyver.
Mojo right.
Because trust me, every once in a while we're like, we do Guyver? Now it's like, we doing Guyver? I'm like, hey, we're doing Guyver. I'm just gonna listen. We're gonna have some fun today. That's all I can say. Y'all in for a treat today. Y'all in for a treat today. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh, right. Okay. So I'm gonna pace and I'm making sure
Bio
I don't.
booster.
Okay.
Bio
so
booster.
the icon is Guyver. Bio boosted armor Guyver, or Guyver boosted bio boosted armor. How you want to put it? Guyver.
Guyver.
Now I know a lot of people might look at the only Guyver they know is Mick Guyver, and that's the only one they know. No. Icon, yes. Bio boosted armor Guyver. Oh, let's get into this one. Okay, so first of all, I'm a fan.
No, never thought that. I never saw that at all. Or perceived that at all.
I was a fan from the first time my fingers touched one of the mangas. I was like, what was this? I was a fan from when I saw the anime one. What's this? And I sat there, and if you remember the old school, I'm going to age myself and date myself. It was the Memorex commercial where the guy puts in the tape Memorex, and he's sitting down in the chair and he's all low down, and it's showing him from the side profile, and it's just the sound coming from the speaker, and his hair's blowing back, and he's holding on to that one chair for his dear life, and it's like boom. That was when I put in Guyver, got 10 minutes into the anime. I went, oh, what is this?
Where have you been all my life? Say it with your chest. Guyver.
Let me tell you something. If I come back reincarnated, I hope that God will see it, that I will still have the same passion and interest, and let me rediscover all these things again so I can enjoy them at a younger age and for a longer time in my next life. Okay, you understand this? Reincarnate. If I was going out to King Tech, I need to be gone out with a DVD copy of Gatchaman the complete series, right? All 3 volumes. I need Guyver. I need Guyver the manga. I need all my Micronauts, especially with the main issue to me is issues up. Let's say 1 to 25. I'm good with 1 to 30, 1 to 35, 1 to 35 of Micronauts. I'm good with. Okay, give me those. Give me all my DVDs with Grandizer. Wow, woo. Okay, and I'm good. I'm good. You understand? I'm good. In the afterlife, I can watch that over and over and read it over again, right? You throw in Excalibur, the 1980 movie, man. Oh, okay, right. Woo.
And let it begin. Yes. Wow. All
right.
Like I said, everyone, you're in for a treat. You're in for a treat. That's all I'm going to say. You're in for a treat. Let's
getting heart palpitations. It's okay. It's okay. We will make it to the end of this episode. Yeah. Okay, so Guyver. Why am I so excited about Guyver? This is this property here needs to be done again.
And facts. We'll come to that conversation later. But definitely, yeah. I won't even wait until the end of the show. Sorry, if you guys know our normal pattern, we say this towards the end of the show. We're saying that from the beginning. Yeah, this needs to be done.
Needs to come again. So why Guyver? Why am I so excited? Here it is. So Guyver was created in 1985 as a manga. It started off over in Japan. Say that with respect. Speak from diaphragm. Okay, and the plot follows 2 teenage boys, best friends, and they turn around and on their way, walking home from school, and normal teenage angst and so forth. They find, they're walking by the lake. They throw some water, a rock skipping rope. Skipping the stone, skipping the water. Something comes up, and they see this thing. They go, "Oh, what's it? I don't know what it is." And then all of a sudden, it's a circular, like a plate. And he's holding it in a stick, like a disc, a big disc with a silver eye in it. and it's got like looks like kind of metallic ropes. And when he touches it, it shines. All of a sudden, it comes out and it just envelops his body and just going through. And he's screaming, and his friend is like, "Oh my god!" So the main guy's name is Sho. That's his name. So the Japanese name is Sho Fugamachi. Sho Fugamachi. Yes, I want to do this. Annoying or not, I love it. Right? His best friend is Tetsuro.
Yep.
Right? Tetsuro Segawa. So Sho turns around, touches it, gets it, it involves, Tetsuro doesn't know what's happening, with him. And I mean, it gets introduced before. And we'll get back to that. So this is their story. I'm going to do it from their point of view. So gets caught up with this. Then these soldiers seem to show up saying, "Hey, did you see this unit, something strange or whatever case to be?" Tetsuro doesn't want to give out his friend. He goes, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, my buddy touched something and something happened. He's like, "Okay, give it back. He's got the Guyver unit." He's like, "What? What's this Guyver unit?" And now Tetsuro is very smart. That's one of the things. He's got a very analytic mind. I like that. These characters are really well developed. Sho comes out the water in this greenish battle armor. Looks like half insect-ish kind of looking, but alien. But it's an armor, and it's got like blades on its forearms. He's got the big silver control thing on his forehead. He's got the eyes, a big fin. And I'm like, whoa, okay, what's happening here? And he proceeds to turn around and give them guys 5 across the eyes. Right. And he said, because at one point he comes out, he's very calm. There's no action until one of them grabs Tetsuro, his best friend, and then subconsciously he's like, "Oh no!" Layeth the smacketh down on. Okay.
Yeah.
And he goes at it, and they start fighting. Now during this fight, guys start to morph into these monsters. What? So he just goes ham. Like the blades come out, these vibro blades, they extend from his forearms. He's cutting through everything. He's punching, not saying a word. Once they're all gone and done with, he stops very calmly, looks at his buddy Tetsuro, and then the armor seems to melt away. And he's like, "Sho?" He's like, maybe I'm missing one of the episodes, but it's like, "Sho?" And he's like, "Yeah, what happened?"
I don't know.
Right? No, it's true. Sorry, I'm getting. There's a while back. Sho does get the armor. Sho sees himself in the water, reflection in the water with the armor on him. Couldn't figure out. Had a panic attack. That's when the guy showed up. All that fight took place, and then it ended, and the armor went away. He looks back in the water, sees that
just start floating.
Yeah, it's gone, and he's like, "Okay, what was that? That's weird. We got to go."
I don't know about you, but we got to get somewhere quick, and he ain't here.
Yeah, right.
Let's go.
He had to say, "Man, we got to fled."
We got to fled.
If you remember that movie with Lawrence Fishburne, movie called Fled, and it's like every time they have to flee, they go, "Yo, man, time for us to fled." All right. So this is Sho's whole interest into this, and very dramatic. So what does this have? The character has a lot of similarities with Peter Parker. Right? He's got his insecurities. He's got the girl he likes, which is Tetsuro's sister. He's coming of age story. He's not getting bullied, and they're just two friends. They're kind of the outcast. They're not part of the popular cool kids, so the two of them gravitate to each other. They're childhood friends. Sho lives with his dad. Mom passed away years ago, so it's just him and his dad. And there's a disconnect. I mean, he hit his teenage years, and he's still kind of come to grips with his mom not being around. His dad's still trying to be his dad, but doesn't know how to really fully connect with him. So there's this barrier between them. So well written on this part, and really make it a human story, not about aliens and monsters coming in, even though that's really cool. And they deal with that. Tetsuro is his confidant, his best friend, tries to help him out. Tetsuro actually likes Sho and is like, "Hey, if you want to date my sister, you gotta step up." He's like, "Oh, I don't know if she sees me that way." And he's like, "Come on, man, have a little confidence." So he's really bigging his friend up to succeed and not to fail. And throughout this whole series, it starts off with them very young. It gets up to, as a manga, the manga went up to like 188 issues, 189 issues, but it never truly finished the story. They said it was supposed to finish it off, and there was a lot of things that happened in that. Beautiful, with the writing. with the tragedy, the triumphs, all that. This is why I'm a fan of it. It's like so, you can't. The characters are so developed that all you had to do to bring this to life is just look and go, okay, copy paste. Don't change nothing. Don't deviate from the plan. So that's shown, and with Guyver. Side note: this thing already existed. So we had the manga. I said 188 issues, 189 issues. Never really fully finished the story, and it's been years. This came out in 1985.
You said, yep.
Back. I can't remember what month it was, but that's when the manga came out. Because it's got various dates. So
February 18th, February of 1985. Sorry.
Wow. Okay, so February 1985. Yeah. Okay, that works for me. So it's more recent. It's not like some of the other stuff we talk about, which is like 1959, 1930. Correct. This is more up to date, and it shows and it written well. So picture best way I can describe him. He's a Peter Parker character that ends up getting this armor, and he doesn't know why, doesn't know where it's from, has no connection. Freaking cool. And this armor has so many powers. So 1, it's got super strength. All right. 2, he's got regeneration. He's got a healing factor. So if a limb gets cut off, it grows it back. Insane. He's got a chest cannon, meaning if he opens up the chest area, like he pulls it back, like you're opening up your shirt, it's got like 2 kind of shiny orbs in there on each peck, so to speak. And that shoots like a mega cannon, and it does so much damage that it has to charge up, that it could shoot for miles from the point of origin onward. Miles. Anything in line of that, obliterated. The vibro blades. So they're literally blades that vibrate at a certain frequency that can cut through anything. If they get chopped off by fluke, they'll grow back. What I love, and later on in the episode it happens, is he gets brain damage. Like he's fighting a monster, boom, monster hits him in the head, rips off half his head, like his brain area. And everyone's like, oh man, he's dead. Nope. My boy gets up. Now the armor protects the host.
Correct.
So it goes into automatic defense. So anyone attacking it gets wrecked. He's not even fighting. The guy's he's brain dead. And the armor is fighting off 3 monsters at once. And everyone's like, what are you doing? It's Guyver out of control. So that's where you get one of the anime's name, because literally he was out of control. The pilot was asleep at the wheel, right? Okay.
Right. So funny thing about that. No, so the funny thing about that is that actual from the creators who created Guyver. So that particular unit. Okay, I'll backtrack. I'm just trying to follow up with what you were saying. So in regards to the regenerating power of him, so basically in the middle of his forehead, basically there, as Barry was saying, there is a silver orb.
Yes.
That basically what it did is it actually records and copies his DNA. So this is why whenever he's getting injured or anything like that, it's basically going off that database. So just basically regenerate him. So that's why he can. Basically, it's very hard to kill Guyver when he's in that state. And in the state where he was having brain damage, the suit basically goes into defense mode. And that's when it's more or less like the only scenario with that is that it just goes into defense mode. And at that point, there's no human host to tell it, you are friend or foe? I don't know who you are. You're too close to me. I'm taking you out. But I'm your friend. I'm going to take you out. You're too close. I don't know who you are. So that's why it's like a berserker type of mode. And this is what I came across, that the name Guyver, at least for when it was created. Let me see if I can get into that part. Guyver is actually not the code, but the name that they call it, Guyver, is out of control, because the bio armor is just was created to have human host.
Yes.
And when it's in a human host, there's not that much control that they have over it. So that's why it's like, it was kind of like codename, like it's just like a doppelganger in the sense, like that's what it means. Guyver means out of control when it's on a human host. So that's why it's very rare to have a human host that is actually, a human host can actually control it like Shrew can.
Yeah, exactly. And the only weakness that happens is if that control metal gets damaged, then the armor would start to melt and the host would get evaporated with that, and then it would go back in its disc form. But that's that metal is pretty tough. And then he's also got other abilities. So at one point he's got another orb around his waist, which is anti-gravity, which lets him hover and fly. So he learns to fly at one point. He's got super speed. All right. As the series goes on, you find out there's other Guyvers. With the other Guyver in their Guyver form, they are able to communicate with each other like a walkie-talkie, like a cell phone.
Correct.
Wherever they're at, it seems to be no range limit. It's like, oh, you're there? Okay, yeah, man, what's going on? How you doing, man? It's so good. I wanted a Guyver unit. Always check for cracks though, and I'll explain why. So he looks into this, and then and that's his story as it starts to go on. He gets the armor. They don't know where it came from. Him and Tetsuro are trying to figure it out. So Sho and Tetsuro are trying to figure out where the armor came from, how they got it. Is it dangerous to him? He realizes the only identifying marks on him that show that it really happens is on his back. He's got like 2 red marks, and that seems where the armor kind of hibernates within the human host.
Right.
So as the story progresses, you find out there's 3 Guyver units. Sho has 1, right? And then another one shows up by one of the guys from the corporation. So the corporation that had these, who was experimenting on them, who was looking more into them, was a Kronos corporation. When the show and the manga starts off, because you have the anime and you got the manga, when you start reading it, you hear a lot about Kronos. You see Kronos is like any kind of business where they invent stuff, they're doing stuff. And you think at first Kronos is only native to Japan, where Sho is. Later on, you find out Kronos, like Mr. 305, is worldwide.
Worldwide.
Dun, 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 dun. Fireball. Right. It's worldwide. So it's a corporation. It's a worldwide corporation who are looking into this alien technology. Kronos knows it's alien technology. Later on, Sho finds out it is alien technology. He deals with Guyver 2, who is a military trained person working for Kronos. Pretty much beats Guyver 1. So Sho is Guyver 1, Guyver 2. The only reason that Sho wins this fight is when Sho hits him, Guyver 2 already had a crack in its control metal, and that's how they found out the hard way. Don't let nothing happen to control metal. Because he melted. That's how he beat him. Skill-wise, you couldn't beat him. Could not beat him. Right? And then Guyver 3 shows up, who they call like Dark Guyver, because it was a black armor with highlights of red. Very similar. And the Guyver units have little things that make them look a little bit different, but generally the same. And they have their different color schemes. I mean, come on, man. Japan, Power Rangers. It's all about colors. Skittles. Right? So this is where it comes in. And then Guyver 3, you don't know who Guyver 3 is. Guyver 3 seems to have a more of an understanding of the armor, more of a whole control of it, and goes about it. So at one point, Guyver 3 goes by the nickname Zeus. You're thinking, why Zeus? Well, Zeus fought Kronos. And you find out Guyver 3 is one of his classmates, who's one of the cool kids, who was running for president or treasurer at their high school. And that his stepfather or father, stepfather, worked for the Kronos Corporation. So this is how he got into, Kronos, and found out all that information about it. And I'm like, that is amazing. So he himself had a better understanding of it. And where Sho had to kind of, the greatest American hero figure it out on his own, right? His buddy, who I said was going by Zeus, I can't remember, Guyver 3, had to figure it out. And I'm going to pull out his name. I'm bad with names, so y'all know this.
It's Ajito Makashima.
Okay, yes. So he's the one that had it, and at first he was very reluctant to reveal his identity. It was kind of a secret. Kind of came out. So here's the whole story. Well, not the whole story, but in the beginning of it. Right? Sho gets the armor. Sho turns around. Him and Tatsuo try to figure out. They find out ties. It's back to Kronos. They know Kronos is hunting him down. The main guy from Kronos seems to be hunting it, trying to get the Guyver unit back. The only way to get the Guyver unit back is with either one of two ways: a distraction unit, which it seems they might be coming close to getting, or the host has to die. And the armor goes back in its disc form, and they would have it back. And the thing is, why did they fear this armor so much? Because it goes back to mythology, the supernatural mythology. Anytime that you would have heard tales of werewolves,
right,
vampires, Frankenstein's monster, any sea creatures, it goes back to that. So this armor came from this alien race. They came here on Earth with these kind of pod-looking ships. These ships look like an egg with little, if you're holding an egg upright in that oval shape, and it had like little like legs at the bottom of it, like long stringy things. That's how it will land. And it had these Guyver units in it. So these Zoinoids, when they came there, they were monsters. When they crash landed on Earth, or they came to Earth to observe it, they came as, the aliens tried to experiment, and they made the Zoinoids. And this is where you get the monsters of your Frankenstein's the myths of your Frankenstein's monster, vampires, so forth like that, because they experimented on them, and they wanted to use them as a slave race to build things, populate, conquer other planets, and have control over them. And at one point they started to rebel. So they go, look, we got to do something to kind of keep them in line. We have these Guyver units. We don't want to give a Guyver unit to one of these monsters that are rebelling. So we're going to give it to, Cro-Magnon Man. Because this is back in the time of cavemen. So Cro-Magnon Man, they found a couple of cavemen, and this caveman went and got the Guyver unit. And of course, him getting that technology, seeing these monsters change in front of him, went out of control. That's why Guyver in the alien language means out of control.
Correct.
Put it on. He didn't speak. He just put on the armor. And they realized that the alien race said, hey, anytime someone put on the armor, yeah, we knew they were strong. But a human with the Guyver brings out the highest potential and destructive ability of this armor. Right. Even the creators were scared, saying, get off planet. Get off planet. He's out of control. We don't want to stop. Abort. Exactly. And that caveman was the first Guyver on Earth and wrecked shop with all these monsters. To the point they had to get the control unit, pull it out of them. Okay, fine. Then one of them got injured. I'm talking the machines, the pods, and it ended up staying on Earth, found by Kronos. They built their whole company around it. They're trying to get through into the shell of this spaceship. And they've kind of retrofitted some of the technology, but they know there's more inside and they can never get inside. So that was their whole secret. So Show gets this, has to go through, Guyver 2, teams up with Guyver 3, learns more. Here's what Kronos is really trying to do. And knowing that the Lords, it starts off, you have the main bad guy, but you realize out of the main bad guys in the first 12 episodes of the show, right, he's not the main bad guy. That main bad guy is just number 12 at the bottom of the list. You got the 12 Lords, and he's bottom of the list.
Lower of the lows. What do you mean the lowest of the lows? I'm the lowest form.
The tragedy comes when Show has to turn around and gets into a fight. So at one point, they're working on these new type of Zoinoids. These are the creatures that, they experiment on humans, make them turn in, and sometimes it's usually a one-way transformation. If you're in human form, you change it to a Zoinoid, you can't change back to human. That's it.
Right.
But they made one. They kidnapped his dad, brainwashed him, turned him into a Zoinoid, and gave him an ability that he would have like an acidic touch. So every time he would touch the armor would start to melt and burn. After Guyver's taken out so many, they know full well that was Show's dad. And they put him and his dad together, and it was his dad in that Zoinoid form, brainwashed. They didn't know who the Guyver was. They didn't know his son was a Guyver. Turned around and took a swipe at his son's head and brained him. And when the Guyver went in defense mode, Show was asleep at the wheel. Show couldn't stop himself from fighting and killing his own dad. This is where I'm saying this is like Spider-Man. Like Spider-Man says, I was responsible. I didn't stop the criminal that killed Uncle Ben.
Correct.
Show was the hand that killed his father.
Right.
Trauma.
Yeah, there'll be a couple of couches for that. Good conversations after that, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Still don't got enough time. And I like they showed it in the show because at one point he couldn't even call out the armor. When his life was in danger, psychologically blocking himself from calling up the armor because he was traumatized that in this armor he killed his dad.
Right.
So he, even his life was in danger, being hunted, he's like, Guyver, oh, nothing's coming up, and he's getting licks. Yeah. So far we've got a guy. Picture it's like Spider-Man with the black costume, young guy, alien technology. And then the guys who are working at Kronos on that project, trying to get into, the original spaceship, realize they can't even get into it. So Sho and Agoto had to sneak into Kronos, get down into sub-levels, see the scientists. The scientists are trying to rebel against Kronos because they realize what they're doing is wrong. Realize they got two guys who have got Guyver technology, said, hey, no one can get in there, but if you put on your armor, it might accept you in. And it does. And they get in the spaceship. They see where the Guyver units were, where the Guyver retrieval unit was. And they get all that information about them being from an alien race, how they're going about it, planting seeds. Wow. It's
very deep. There's a lot of information on that one.
A lot of information. And that's just the manga, how it starts off, 20-something issues. That's how the anime does it. It's been redone a couple of times. So the first one is like 12 episodes, another one's 24 episodes. That's how, and they don't even get to the bulk of it because later on, Guyver gets other forms. There's Guyver, form 2 and form 3. And form 3 is a huge, giant, like robot looking thing, like Grandizer. But we don't even get the beauty of an anime, but it shows up in a manga. You get the other lords showing up. Oh, so this is why this property needs to come back.
Facts.
Right? Yeah. I know I've done a lot of talking.
No. Yeah, Keep going.
I went and I remember buying Guyver on VHS. Okay, the first movie. And the first movie, what's his claim to fame? It had Mark Hamill in it. That's right. Luke Skywalker from Star Wars was playing a cop in the first Guyver movie. Yep. And the first Guyver movie, it was live action. It was okay. As a fan, back then, it was the best we won't get. We didn't have stuff like we have today, like all the Marvel movies, the DC movies, and all that. The quality of budget. You got a movie. Oh, okay. You enjoy it.
I'm happy. I'm good.
I'm happy. And they changed the names. So they changed the names to give him more American names. So instead of Sho, his name was Sean. That's where they made the change. Fine. So that movie was okay. Mark Hamill claimed to fame. Then they came up with a second movie. Hot damn. The second movie, bigger budget, still direct to VHS, DVD. You can still find it. It's called Guyver Dark Hero. Wow. This incorporates a lot of the storyline that we're dealing with, that we're talking about right now, with some good aspects. So Mark Hamill was not in the second one. It's still the same character, Sean. It's still kind of a continuation of his story and his arc. Some characters were renamed or recast. Fine. But when I say wow, it's because at the time, the director for this one was, he was the director on Power Rangers. Excuse me. So when all my friends look at me, it's like, yeah, man, Dark Guyver. The director used to work on Power Rangers. And this is like, with the Green Ranger, with Tommy, Jason David Frank, those episodes. And everyone looked at me like, really, Barry? Come on, man. Director from Power Rangers? I'm thinking, if you watch Power Rangers, that's how a superhero fight's supposed to be. Mm-hmm. And when you watch Dark Guyver, and a guy has super speed and super strength, and he punches somebody, that's the way it's supposed to be. It was the end fight, the fights in between up to the last battle, so well done. So well done. How they put their spin on the spaceship and finding everything, I liked it. Absolutely. So that being said, if it's been live action once, we've got animes, we got mangas, we got to bring it back. If you want tragedy, so like I said, we got science fiction, you got supernatural.
Yep.
To a certain degree. We have world building. At one point, Kronos takes over the world. And makes the guys vigilantes and wanted posters worldwide. This is how big this corporation go. It's not like they're trying to. They did. Right. They did. And it's still coming down to the big battle, which is still leading up to it. Ancient artifacts get brought into this. So this is why Guyver bio-boosted armor is my favorite for the storytelling. And I haven't even talked about all the characters. I'm just talking about Sho, Tetsuro, his sister, and there's another cool character who was a test person. for a new form. He was a reporter. He had a wicked looking gun. You find out that he got taken, kidnapped, and for the Xylords, right? The Xylords, they needed to test their form. So they tested their form on this human. So it was a partial success where he can turn into something like a Guyver, but it's augmented. So the Xylords can actually mentally control the Zoinoids. So Zoinoids, and they can somewhat almost control a Guyver over their mental prowess. Higher up on the chain, better mental powers you got. So wow. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. So he goes from high school student to a rebel running a rebellion worldwide. Dun, 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 dun. Sorry. Yeah.
Woo. You good? You good?
Yeah,
good?
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah,
Xylords.
good?
Yeah. I'm good.
No, it's looking at your system.
I think I got it out of my system. I'm
you sure?
good.
You sure? Okay.
Yeah. So I know a lot of times, studios, people are always, okay, first of all, as fans and people, you're always looking for something to watch with meat on the bone. This has meat on the bone. Read the manga, watch the anime. You will not be disappointed. For studios looking for something to do, adapt it properly. You will not be, build it, they will come. You will not be disappointed. So that all being said, I had to turn around and cast this. Rod, okay, I'll let you. I've been talking about Rod.
Listen,
for me, what do you got? What do you think?
For the complexity of Guyver,
yes,
I would love to see it in a live action,
right?
But I know it won't do it justice. It won't do it justice. I need to see this in an anime. I need to see this in a cartoon anime form. Because like you said, there are so many different levels on that. The story goes deep. There's a lot of history that you will find out about. The different levels of Guyver. And like you said, they got like 3 different levels, and you barely scratch the surface of realizing you get into Guyver, like the 3rd form. To me, to get to that story, to get that deep in that storyline, this has to be like an anime or a cartoon that has to be done at least 3 to 4 seasons. But yes, you're getting at least give me at least 15, 18 episodes per season.
Yeah.
Give me that old feel. And this is why I'm saying this, is because I love how we're getting a lot of these Netflix movies and shows that they are just dropping us bulk, bam, like 10, bam, maybe 12, bam, and that's it. I know the budget and everything like that you want to, you're holding to that, but there's a lot of story here, and I can't feel 12 would do it justice. Give me at least 15 or 18, a minimum per season. Give me about 3 to 4 seasons, and then I can say, okay, I think we're good, and that would definitely take off. If anything, that would be like volume 1. Fine, right. I'm good with that. So in that mindset, I would like to have. Let me just go and catch my guy. So where did I just put you? Hold on, I just went blind. I had him here. Where did I put? Oh, you big joker. He's right. You see, when we went to doing a hurricane, I changed scenes. That's why. So I want to go to Dante Basco. Dante Basco. Does the name sound familiar? Some might realize who that is. I will say, if you go and watch the latest, when we came up to Avatar, The Last Airbender.
Okay.
Prince Zuko.
Okay.
Now, not only has he done that, like, you mean, like, wow, Zuko, like he's that's big. He's done a lot of stuff. Let me just break it down. We know him from that for Zuko, so he has the ability to be that. We know Prince Zuko in the beginning to be very outgoing, that strong character, like saying, I'm going after the Avatar. Uncle, right. I'm going out, whatever the case may be. So he has a presence. So we're going to flip that towards the end of that season. He's become more humble and be more like patient and, be very, very, very caring and everything like that. So I'm going to just basically say for Guyver, it's going to be the reverse. He's going to start off being very timid. Like you said, he's interested in his sister and he's being very, he's like saying he's not sure of himself and everything like that. Start off with that, and we will grow him into a battle Zord that will take out life without a question. We're going with that. Now, he's done that. He's done voiceovers for that. He's done voiceover playing Scorpion and Flash Thompson on Ultimate Spider-Man. So he's done, Star Wars Rebels. So I just mean that this character, this Dante has the acting chops, the voice chops to do that different range and everything like that. It could be even as if you wanted to even go Jake Long. If you remember American Dragon, Jake Long.
Yes.
He was Jake Long.
Okay. All right.
So I'm going like at least someone who has the range, especially if we're gonna go anime. We need a voice actor. I want to pull someone who's just basically like saying, listen, I'm not wasting no time. I want a veteran to come in here and just knock down the doors. Then you were like, where have you been all my life? That's exactly what I want. Guyver.
Touche.
Guyver.
Say it with chest. Say it from Guyver. All right. I hear you. I like that. I like how you're thinking. Yep. Because more Guyver is not bad Guyver, right?
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. A movie. I know we're gonna get our 3.
Right.
Okay, that's cool. But to be like, there's more behind it. And as much as we would love studios now are tapping out of 3. Maybe you might get a 4th one, and that's it. No one is doing like the Star Trek, movie Star Trek 5 on Discover. You know what I mean? Going deep into 5, 6. Right. No studio is doing that anymore. No one's going like that anymore. So if I need longevity, give me anime. Let's go.
Okay. All right.
Draw it up. Draw up that contract.
Okay. Draw it up. Okay. I like that.
Draw
okay,
up that contract.
I like your thought process. Here we go. So who's your guy again?
Dante Basco.
Okay. Dante Basco, you going anime the whole 9 yards. Got it. Okay, cool. Couple of seasons, right? I hear you on that. I agree with you on a lot on that, but I'm greedy because this is Guyver. I want Guyver. I need a Guyver t-shirt. I need Guyver. Okay, so here it comes down to. We all know how I feel about this property and how I look into it. So my guy, right off the bat, no matter how we're going to look at it, is Johnny Youngboosh. Who's Johnny Youngboosh, you say? Well, let's see. He was a voice of Trigun, Vash the Stampede. He was in Bleach. And that's just a smidgen of all the voice work that Johnny has done. By the way, Johnny was the Black Ranger in Power Rangers.
Okay.
Right? So Johnny Youngboosh, if you look at him, when you had Zach, who was the first Black Ranger that we get in Power Rangers, the live action treatment. And in the second Power Rangers movie where they bring in the new team, he takes over the Black Ranger. So one, he's got the voice acting on lock. Clearly, he's done some great properties, and I just mentioned 3. That I see. Like, I mean, okay, Power Rangers, he wasn't a voice actor; he was a live action actor. Hey, when he was on Power Rangers, to me, he was the best martial artist, probably on par or just right behind Jason David Frank. His kicks, his technique was on point. Because not only did he have to fight in the costume, right? And I know at times they got the stunt doubles. When they got attacked by the putties out of costume, Johnny Bosch, he was quick. Like, he threw kicks and punches faster than Jason David Frank. And they were like technique, power, and finesse all over this. So this is what I'm going with. And he's a voice actor. Been doing voice work for years. Like, if you know Vash the Stampede from the Trigun series, yeah. Okay. So those are 2 of my favorite properties. So here it goes. Anime, I agree with you. It's got to be done. Netflix, anime, give me 5 seasons, easy. Let Johnny be that character. Now, if we want to go live action, I'm still going with Johnny.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm still sticking with Johnny. If you see what he looks like now, so he's going to be a little bit older. You can do flashbacks of him maybe as a teenager and do that. Let's get away from some of the flashbacks, that whole story, really fleshing it out. You can do certain flashbacks and traumatize, maybe tackle it from a little bit older. So this way they can do, as I said, cutscenes, flashback, him younger, some key points, not everything, just some key points. So this way we can start advancing the story and get a little bit more of him being a little bit more seasoned in Guyver, and then moving forward to get like his other form of Guyver too. And now, is it going to be a big screen? If it's going to be a movie, Johnny. If it's going to be a direct-to-DVD movie, Johnny. If it's going to be a live action series on a streaming service, Johnny. If it's going to be a cartoon, Johnny. Right. If you look at Johnny right now, right, he's got the ethnicity to it. You know, there's a picture I'm looking at. He's got a little goatee. He's got the jawline. He's got the black hair. He would fit for Show, because Show does have the dark hair. Johnny Youngboosh. That's you know, he understands what it's like to do these things live and as voice work.
Right.
He can deliver. He can deliver the sensitivity. He can deliver the power. He can deliver it live. He can deliver it in a low voice booth, doing the lines for the character. And being in the game for so long, I'm sure that he has and knows of this property of Guyver. And that, I mean, he's done some big ones already. So this Dragon Ball, he played a character. Okay, so Johnny will get the range of emotion, be it if he's in front of the camera or just applying the voice. And clearly, he's got the skills to be in the suit, breaking it down if he has to.
Okay.
And make it look good. Johnny Youngboosh is my guy in out the suit voice work, no matter how the studio wants to approach it. If they're going to do a movie, I know we're not going to get a big picture movie. I would love, they would invest into a big picture movie. Give me at least, and I would love, okay, 3 movies? Sure, we can do 3 movies. We're not going to get the full story and complexity of everything there. So give me something like a streaming service and do a couple of seasons. That's my boy.
Okay.
Yeah. No matter what it is, he needs to be attached to it.
So said, so done. Okay. Got it.
Not like I gave this any thought or nothing like that, right?
No. Far from it. Never took that in consideration.
Right. Because I mean, if you watch Dark Guyver, even the first Guyver movie and Dark Guyver, the actor is not a teenager. He's a little bit older. So especially in Dark Guyver, which I think
it's actually Dark Hero. It's actually Dark Hero.
Dark Hero. Sorry.
Dark Hero.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Not perfect. Thank you.
No.
So this is why Rod's here. He corrects me, everybody. Right. So Dark Hero. Out of the 2 Guyver movies, Dark Hero was more my favorite one. I'll say that for just the overall treatment of it. And he's not a teenager in this movie. He's older. He's almost kind of pulling the Bruce Banner kind of vagabond, going from place to place and trying to be undercover, you know. But so I like it. Johnny.
Okay. So we have Johnny as Barry's choice, and we have Dante as my choice. Okay.
Correct.
This is good. All right.
Correct. I know I've done a lot of talking, Rod. Any kind of final thoughts on this? Or
listen, all I can say is, you know what? Hopefully everybody seems to understand that whenever we bring a character to you, these are characters that we like. So there's going to be a rare time you're going to say anything like, "Oh no, you shouldn't make this, shouldn't produce this." No. There's a reason why we brought this to you, because we feel we love it. So all I'm going to say is, having a Guyver, Guyver came out like in 1985. The movie came out in 89, if I remember it correctly. I'll have to go back and look at that. But it's been so long that this generation needs to know why this one is a cult favorite, why it needs to be come back. Because again, we're in the age right now where sci-fi characters are taking precedence, are taking top shelf.
Yes.
Like we said, it's a little supernatural in the sense of at least the theories, not the theories of the old of monsters and vampires and so forth. So that kind of lore, but we're into that. This generation is all about action, fighting, battle armors and stuff like that. So having suits, fighting. I mean, listen, this is the day, this is the year, this is the age of the Iron Man. So if you come up with something in that kind of realm, you're not going to get a pushback. You're not going to get a pushback at all. So this is why this character has some ground to stand on. If written right and approached properly, I really believe that it will bring back the old heads who know this character and be like saying, "Oh my gosh, they're bringing Guyver back," and that will be the question. Like, "Oh, I need to check that out." And in that tunnel of interest, you're going to have now other people like, what do you mean Guyver? And then you're going to start looking to it, and you're going to realize, like, oh my goodness, what do you mean there's a bio suit that someone can wear and be able to, like, take on, like, super droids and stuff like that. Like, it will completely blow people's mind
Right.
to have that. So that's why I feel this is beautiful time. You put that project into works, let that come out in the next 3 years. Trust me, this
Build
will
it.
be something. This build it, and they will come.
They will come.
Build it.
Exactly.
This will come. Easily.
That's what I say. Look, man, if you're a fan of Peter Parker Spider-Man, you're a fan of Guyver.
Completely.
If you're a fan of a young guy getting to power armor, you know, and that's again like Spider-Man getting into Iron Man's armor, for example, or you know, Scarlet Spider,
like Jamie Reyes and Blue Beetle.
Right.
It's very similar.
Exactly.
This is update. Blue Beetle is an up-to-date one, and people are accepting that already. So that's why this can be like,
Good call.
so that's not Blue Beetle? No, this is not Blue Beetle.
No, man.
This is before Blue Beetle. Well,
Yeah.
Blue Beetle
Jamie Reyes, Blue Beetle.
Jamie Reyes, Blue Beetle.
So if you're a fan of Jamie Reyes as the Blue Beetle with the scarab and the armor, dealing with aliens, then you're a fan of Guyver. If you're a fan of Peter Parker and the teenage angst and how he looks at life and goes about it, and sometimes things are a little bit rough. Guess what?
You're a fan of Guyver.
You're a fan of Guyver.
Yep.
Right? If you like battle giant robots and stuff like that at one point,
you should have a shirt. You should have a shirt just saying you're a fan of Guyver. I just walk around. You're a fan of Guyver. You're a fan of Guyver.
Hashtag you're a fan of Guyver. If you like the supernatural aspect of it, where you can picture, let's say, Peter Parker in battle armor fighting, you know, vampires and werewolves and all that.
You're a fan of Guyver.
You're a fan of Guyver. But did you know Guyver? Maybe not. So
let's bring you into the fray. Let's bring you into the fray, I should say.
Go online, get your copies wherever you get your copies from. Support it. Get your manga, support it, read it. You'll love it. Trust me. Send us a comment. Yeah. Thank you. Rod, we're going to just wrap this one up.
Yeah, I guess so. Listen, everyone, we thank you for being with us today. As always, we ask you to please make sure you hit that like button. Every like does support and help us out. Hit the subscription. Every subscription helps us. Helps our analytics and stuff in that region. Yep. Thank you, the words I'm trying to say, but I can't say. And make sure you hit something in the follow. Listen, we love having this great communication with you guys, hearing all these great comments you guys are telling us. Trust us. We're gonna have an episode coming up shortly where we have some questions that we're gonna be kind of like fortaying off of. So trust me, trust and believe. We do see your comments. We do listen, and we take note. So listen, be part of the culture, be part of the family. Let's join in. Listen, we're gonna have some fun. Let's do this, man. Let's go.
Right on. On that note, This whole world was started by a pencil, a piece of paper, and lots of imagination. Keep on dreaming. We're out.
Guyver.
Sorry. Not sorry. I need a Guyver unit. I want Dark Guyver. I look good in black.
Christmas coming.
Iconoclast.
We're out.